Good afternoon, friends. Another part of lockdown series where I'm just trying to express myself a little more than which I used to do in normal days. Today I'm going to speak on procrastination, the challenges of procrastination. Actually, life, in modern life, I see that, life is like a menu, a multi-cuisine, like entering a multi-cuisine restaurant where you have a multiple option, an array of selection in terms of food, Italian, Mexican, and all kinds of Chinese and all. So when laid out an array of food, you tend to be in a little procrastination stage. To be or not to be, what to have, what not to have. Life is like that. Not only in the one analogy that I drew, life in itself has got so much of choices, so much of overwhelming pressures. Then one has actually literally become a kind of a juggler. One is juggling and trying to be perfect in all. So what is happening that you are prioritizing and reprioritizing, leaving things incomplete or doing it half-heartedly or giving half results or 3/4 results. So there is perpetually a kind of a struggle in terms of deliverables. You go to the office, there are 10 odd things to be done. And half an hour, 45 minutes or more than that is wasted literally in terms of picking up the most priority was important and trying to get. So you end up in terms of procrastinating almost an hour, spending so much time. So I think procrastination is more like is it a habit? Yeah, it is like a habit. Some people actually learn to defer, delay, and leave it for the last moment to do it. And sometimes they suffer because there's so much of panic. I know people, let's take the case of taxation, the returns of income tax. People wait till the end, even if there is an extension given of a month. Still I've seen people doing it, waiting till the last day, and then it's so much of panic and they're so worried how to do it, whether it can be done or not done, because they just don't want to do within the framework. The other area also where I see there is a lot of procrastination, and because of that, are the youngsters. If they have a homework and if they have a kind of a 2-3 days off or a break or something and homework has to be done, they will try and just linger on till the last. And then the entire family is literally chasing and trying to figure out how to do it and when to quickly finish off and all. So there's an utter chaos because of this postponement and deferment and delaying tactics. So everywhere we tend to delay, and because of that we add on to so much of our stress, mental pressure. So ideally, I think this has become a bane of modern living, having too many choice. You sit down to do, I've seen youngsters who sit down to do something meaningful, and suddenly in the midst of this, the thought process says, oh my God, I have to do that too. And then by the time they do that, they suddenly thought, oh my God, that has to be done. So half complete, and they keep juggling, moving from one end to the other, moving to the one end to the other, and just unduly creating stress and not able to finish anything. In Gita, or rather not Gita before I come, in the ancient, in our school time, we were taught, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab. Pal mein parle hoega, bahuri karega kab. I think the modern jargon has suddenly taken a change. Kal kare so parso kare so narso. Abhi itni jaldi kya hai, abhi to jeena hai barson. I think the modern generation is working in these lines. You tell them to do anything, they will say, oh, we'll do it now. Okay, I'll do it. When? I'll do it now. But they will never give you a firm, definite answer as to when. So that's the kind of a thing they struggle. I'll give another very interesting analogy in terms of how procrastination can be so dangerous. I remember there was a youngster who apparently was delaying his marriage. He was crossing the marriageable age. I mean, his early 30s, just reached 30s rather. So one day I sat down and thought of, giving a reason out with him, and I said, look, you can procrastinate and defer. But if you seriously want to marry, I'll give you an example where you'll end up at. Today I said you have an age with your side, so it's like an a la carte menu. You can choose. So you can choose the right girl to marry, okay? If you become 37, 36, beyond 35 as per marriageable age, then you will be given a kind of a buffet menu. Whatever is laid out, eat it, and don't be fussy about that I want to eat this and I want this. If there is Chinese or Conti or whatever Indian, you just have to manage. So you have limited choice in buffet. But if you cross around 40 or 42, then you end up in a state like langar. Langar, where in Gurdwara the food is excellent and the quality is very good, but the choice is limited. So you end up in a langar state where whatever is being served, eat it and don't think at all, except the quality is definitely going to be good. So what I was trying to prevail upon him was that procrastination and delaying will eventually lead you to a situation where you will be only be stressed and you will only have regrets if you really want to marry. Similarly, I've seen many youngsters who probably, boys and girls especially, who have a liking for each other. But that's very discreet liking, very subtle. They're not expressive. So they keep procrastinating, and by the time they feel they can, one of them has already got married to somebody else. And this all remain only in the heart, the love. So what is I trying to say? That in day-to-day hustle bustle of life, with so much of choice, so much of options, where we are not able to fix up our mind, and why are we trying to be so stressed? We have to now actually start, looking in terms of what are essentials and what are inessentials, what are priority, what is not priority. Until as we do that, we will always be in a kind of a situation where if you go and somebody has to ask, they have to ask you whether you want tea or coffee, you get into a dilemma. So it's always good to offer you both, serve you both, tea and coffee. Because everybody who is in a procrastinating state, they even can't decide whether they want to have tea or coffee. You see most of the time it happens, what will you have? Oh, whatever you will have. Oh, whatever others will have. Well, anything. So it's a kind of a dilemma even in a small mundane thing like deciding about tea or coffee. So what at the end of the day I wanted to actually focus on this subject was that let us all try and confine ourselves and narrow down by being a little more, robust in our thought process in choosing the right. And that's all I have to speak for today. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay home. Have a great day. God bless all. Bye.